Got another one.
Got it.
Fish on.
Sure. There we go.
Fish on. Fish off. Fish on. Fish on. Now this is fun.
Okay, recently I was out fishing and I was having a little bit of luck catching some small bass. And I was approached by a guy who had his 2 young daughters with him. He goes, hey, they've been watching you fish and are pretty fascinated, you know, watching you over here catching these fish. Is it okay if we watch you fish? And I thought about it and I said, sure, but I'll do you one better. So a friend of mine that was there, he loaned him a fishing pole. I rigged him up your basic little bobber with a hook and a split shot, and I gave them some worms, and they sat off a dock and they caught a couple bluegill. So it dawned on me, some people have never been fishing, and then some people have never taken their children fishing. So this is a basic slip bobber 101 introduction here, and I'm going to show you how to rig one of these things up. So if you've never been fishing, you've never take your children fishing, I highly recommend it. Okay, you can build a lot of great memories with them. You can have a good time doing it. So get out and take them fishing.
Okay, first off, the reason why I'm going to teach you how to do the slip bobber over the standard bobber that we've all grown up with. There's many advantages to the slip bobber. Okay, for one, you're going to put a bobber stop on the line. Okay, that way you can measure the depth of how far you want your bait to sink below the bobber, and you can adjust that as you're fishing, depending on the depth of water that you're fishing in. Now, the old standard bobber, which is this, you're going to end up clipping it on the line where you think you want to fish at, and you may have to keep moving it from time to time. But then you've also got a gap of sometimes 1 foot to 3 feet long below the bobber that's dangling down that you have to worry about when you cast, getting tangled up or wrapped around the bobber. And for little kids, it's just not ideal because they're still learning. They're still learning to cast and retrieve, and they don't always check over their shoulder when they reach back to cast, and before you know it, somebody's going to get snagged and can get seriously injured. So yes, these were great to grow up on. That's all we had. I get it. However, times have evolved. So we're going to do away with that, and I'm going to recommend the slip bobber. Some of these got a metal grommet on top. I like those the best, but it doesn't matter. I've got a bunch of the ones with the plastic grommet on them, and those work just as fine too. So these are the bobber stops. They're pretty easy and simple. I just picked these up, and I've only used them one time from Bass Pro. I generally use something like these that come in a little package that you can get at many different stores. And these are pretty much your bobber stops. So what you'll do with one of these, if I can get it out here. So they come pretty much almost pre-tied, and you'll run your string through the center of that plastic coupling there, and then once your line is through it, you'll slip the coupling out, and that string will be on your fishing line. So then you'll just pull these 2 ends tight, you'll clip off the ends, and then you can use that as your bobber stop and adjust it up and down your line depending on how the depth you want your bait to be. Okay, for the sake of the video though, I'm not going to use one of these since I've only used the other ones once, and I'm gonna use that. Okay, so pretty much all you need is you need your bobber stops, which is this little red grommet here, and it comes with a bead already on there, so you don't even need to buy the beads. It comes with it. You need a little small panfish hook and a little split shot weight. We're just keeping it simple. This is a fun way to go fishing. It's a productive way to go catch fish when you want to take kids with you and keep them entertained so they don't lose their attention span on you. And it's just a good fun time to go get a dozen worms, go out, catch some fish, call it an afternoon. So anyway, so first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your bobber stop here. You got your bead, and these come with a loop already in the wire. So what you're going to do is run your line through the loop, if I can get it here. All right, maybe. Okay, you get your line through the loop. Now you're just going to grab that bead along with that grommet, and you're just going to slip it off the wire. Boom. And it goes right on there for you. So there's your bobber stop right here, and then you got your bead. And you just move that bobber stop up, the bead goes with it. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna feed that line through the top of that bobber. Okay, and you're gonna run it all the way out the bottom. Sometimes when these bobbers are wet, they're a little uncooperative and it's hard to get the line through, especially when the line bends. Okay, got the line through the bobber, all right? You're gonna let the bobber run up there. Now you're gonna take your hook. Now, there's a million ways to tie knots, okay? And I'm not an expert on none of them. I do tie several different knots depending on what I'm fishing for and what kind of line I'm using. However, for the sake of argument, we'll just do a standard fishing knot, okay? You just run your loop like, you can tie a regular knot if you want to. It's all gonna work. Except for if you were gonna fish with braided line, because it tends to slip when it gets wet. So this is not braided line. However, you just put it through the hook, you wanna twist it. I like doing an odd number of times. So you can do 3, 4, 5, 7 would be the highest I'd go on a little hook like this. You don't even need to do that much, okay? Potential getting snags in shallow areas is very high, and that's generally where panfish are hiding. So yeah, you've wrapped it. There's a little loop up by the eyelet on the hook. You're gonna run your, sorry, got out of camera view. Run your string through there. You're gonna pull it, then you're just gonna cinch it tight, okay? All right, so now, you got your bobber, you got your bead, you got your bobber stop. Now what you're gonna need to do is put a split shot. Okay, so generally I like to put the split shot about 6 inches up from the hook, okay? And just slip the line through the crease on the split shot that's already made for you. Grab your set of pliers, crimp that baby down on there. Okay, so there you have it. You got your hook, you got your split shot, the bobber stopping right there. And the weight's on there mainly to weigh the bait down. So once this hits the water, the split shot here will bring the weight down, and then it'll bring this bobber up faster, okay? So it's not waiting for that bait to drop before it goes up, okay? Like I said, the benefits to this is you can reel this bobber up. So here's the top of my pole. You can reel it all the way up to here, and you've got, you know, a minimal amount of distance here, so you can just reach over your shoulder and cast. And you know, it lessens the probability of somebody getting snagged in an eye or snagged in the face or anything. And so yeah, the old standard bobbers are easy. However, these are much safer and they're more productive during fishing because you can keep setting the depths of the bobber. So what we're going to do is we're going to go try this out, and I'll show you how it's done. It's pretty easy. All right, well, this is a spot I like to go when I'm able to talk the kids and the wife to go fishing with me. And generally we catch a lot of bluegill here, and it keeps them entertained. And if you only got an hour or two to kill, it's a good spot to go. So it's an old boat launch here at Lake Wilmington, and a lot of people fish here, so I'm surprised nobody's here right now. So anyway, all I brought right now is just some dew worms to get started. So here's the slip bobber pole that I set up in my garage, and we're going to take about a half to a quarter of this dew worm here. Hook him up once, twice. We'll leave a little bit dangling so he squirms around a little bit, maybe attracts something besides the bluegill. That'd be all right. And I know the depth here is somewhere around, depending, about, probably about 3 feet. So I'm going to set my bobber at about 1.5 to 2 feet with this little bobber stop. And see, that thing will go right through your fishing pole eyelet. So you can reel that sucker all the way up to there. So you don't have to worry about a kid snagging somebody up when he's casting it. So let's see what we can do here. It's still hot. It's already under. Man, I missed him already. He's toying with it. There he goes, and I got him. It was time to pay up. You got too many free worms out of me. And he's a little guy. All right, but nonetheless, you know, it's fun fishing. It's easy fishing. And that's something a kid will enjoy. So if you got some kids and you've never taken them fishing, take them out. Nobody cares how good of a fisherman you are, how much experience you got. Just go. So there's one. And number two. That's a little guy there. Little bluegill. I'll tell you what, these suckers right here make great catfish bait. And I'm planning on doing some videos here in the next couple weeks I want to do from my boat. I want to do some crappie fishing, I want to do some saugeye fishing, and I want to do some catfishing. So bear with me, I'll get those videos going here before too long, as soon as I find some time more than just an hour out of my day. That bigger bluegill there, ain't it? Not too shabby. Big old orange belly. So I gotta keep contact with the bait. There you go. I know. So before you set the hook on these bobbers, make sure you reel in the slack to where you're making contact with that bait. And that'll help you prevent a lot of misses too. There we go. There we got another. And I got him. Couldn't resist it. Oh, that's a nice bluegill. Dang. Big old orange belly. Well, busting. There we go. Man, that's a nice bluegill. Jeez, look at that sucker, man. That's a big old fat bluegill. Good Lord. I'll take a whole basket of those bad boys. Look at that bad boy. That's a nice bluegill. He took my worms and everything. We will end it on that note. I like it.
All right, well, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please hit a like and subscribe at the bottom. Until next time, see you then.